In a slowly decaying futuristic city, social class is determined by the amount of time you spend in a virtual world called the interface. Hi, my name is Emmanuel, and this is my weekly show, Tales from the Interface Live. I show you a little bit of, give you a little bit of a behind-the-scene look at my comic making process. I have been making my current comic since 2015 around, and I'm currently working on my fourth book. And this is what I do. So every week I share a little bit of the process. I don't try to hide any mistakes or do anything fast or anything. I'm just drawing at my normal speed. This is what I do pretty much every evening. So I just, I like to once a week give you a glimpse into it. So welcome to Degree Sext. Not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce it. I'm sorry about that. But thanks for the follow. It's very much appreciated. All follows are very much appreciated. All likes, all subscribes, all comments. It really helps to make this a more interesting place and to encourage people to follow as well. So without further delay, I will open up the current page I'm working on. And things haven't been advancing too well this week because I received a commission for a book cover. So, that just takes a toll on my normal comic making when that happens. So today I'm going to be working on page 3. So let me share my screen. There you go. Before I start, I just want to take a minute and share this on my Facebook page. This is being broadcasted live on a few platforms through Restream, so you can watch the show on. Thank you, Sachiko, for the like. Very much appreciated. On multiple platforms, so Facebook, Twitter. What else? Oh, of course, Twitch and YouTube. So I kind of share it everywhere as much as I can. I grab, any interest is a good interest, and I think all together it creates something good. So my books have been published through crowdfunding. So all that good social push is really what makes this work. And you don't have to wait for the campaign to get my books. They're all available on my website. The address is at the bottom here. There's like 2 little images, but actually there's 3 books available. And I ship them myself. This is not a print-on-demand service. I have a small stock at home. So if you order a book, I will be the one who ships it personally. So don't hesitate. There's an option for a sketch. Only $15. I will draw something in your book. I usually do take time to make something nice, so take advantage of it. Okay, so now just set up my stuff, make sure I don't miss anybody. And I think I'm good to start. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I got a commission to make a book cover, so I haven't been able to touch this since Monday. So let me see. This page, so this panel here is very bare bottom. I didn't really push it that much, but the idea is that they enter this kind of fantastic, beautiful looking part of the city, that he now has access to because he's a member of the. He's an employee of Transerical, which is pretty much the only company in town, and the exchanger you play games for them, and then they give you something in return. They give you a beautiful apartment, food, and everything, and they don't really tell you exactly what's the benefit for them. So it's kind of a mystery, you know, but that's the only game in town, and if you go on that, then you need to deal with them. Whatever the consequences are. And that's pretty much the state of the story now. So we have these two characters called Gauthier and Clara, and they're kind of living in that world. And so what I'm gonna do here is just kind of clean up. No, it's a cleanup stage. Some pages are more cleaned up than others. But now I'm gonna take this until the inking stage. And I don't know how far I'm gonna get tonight, but we'll see. The other day, what I did was pretty fun. I played some old radio show, and I think I still have that open somewhere. So maybe I can do that. And books, audio books. Should have skipped that started before I started the show. Class photos. I think it's in Livre Dark Fantasy. That's it. Actually, probably just open VLC. It's probably still in my playlist. No, I won't read. I still don't know that people don't read. But if you bear with me a minute. House of Bread, The Demon Tree, Men Call Me Mad. Okay, I'll start with Men Call Me Mad. And we can play that while I draw, and I can pause or whatever. But I think it might make this a bit more interesting.
Dark fantasy.
All right.
Men call me mad.
Ooh. Mad, eh? Okay.
Dr. West, please close the door.
Dr. West.
Now, gentlemen, I have summoned
Herbert
my
West?
two trusted and loyal friends to divulge a secret that even I myself can hardly comprehend.
You made a new discovery, Charles?
Discovery? Yes. I have found another world.
A what?
Another?
Oh yeah, sorry. Let's skip this one. I saw it.
Exactly.
So basically, this guy shrinks
Switch there.
Yeah, certainly.
and goes to a other dimension or something. If you want to download these shows, by the way, they're all from the Internet Archive, and they're all free to download. It's the rights are been free. How do you call it? Creative Commons. So available for anyone who would like to download them.
I'm Scott Bishop. I create fantasies for the radio. I write weird stories for magazines. I write books on strange subjects. Authors who do these things sometimes attract odd happenings. I don't ask listeners to believe my stories. I do not expect you to believe what I'm going to tell you now. As I was sitting alone at my typewriter one evening, plotting in my mind an outline.
Breaking the fourth wall already, huh?
My room was quiet. There was a soft, spicy odor of incense being wafted in from some other portion of the house. An organ was playing softly somewhere in the distance. That was when I fell asleep. And in my dream, I found myself alone, high on a precipice, the highest in all creation, where I could observe with a naked eye all the far-flung wonders of the universe, where I could overlook that common clay that mankind calls the earth. And as I watched high on that vantage,
why do you sigh, my son?
oh, I thought I was alone.
Are any of us ever alone?
No, I suppose we're not. But it's so desolate up here, so far from anything else. And I seem to be searching for something.
Could it be, my son, that the reason is you are searching for the truth? The truth.
You
What
can't
is
handle the
You
truth.
ask that, then asking, you surely must not know.
The truth. Is it some vague, inconsequential thing? Some mythical nothingness? Some non-existent wishfulness?
Truth, my son, is neither inconsequential, nor vague, nor mythical.
If I could only believe that.
You can believe it, if you will.
Can one believe something he's never seen?
Perhaps.
You think me a cynic, don't you, sir?
I haven't said I do.
Nor have you denied it.
My son, look upon me. What do you see?
Why, a man? Like myself. A little older, perhaps.
And perhaps wiser.
I make no boast of any wisdom I might have.
I am the way, and the truth, and the light.
What is that?
Merely words, spoken by a man who was about to die.
I know. The Bible.
The Bible.
Oh boy.
The way, the truth, the light.
Mm-hmm.
If I could only find them.
You will find them if you look far enough.
Who are you?
I am just a man.
What's your name?
It is a very common name. You'll find it in any city directory or telephone book.
Then why do you conceal it?
I don't conceal it. My name is Word.
I can't agree that it's such a common name.
Nor could you agree that it is unusual.
No.
Names are such temporary things. You can say to me, my name is Bishop, and there is no way for me to know whether you are good or evil, religious or atheistic, learned or ignorant, an emperor or a beggar.
But you've told me more about yourself than just your name.
Have I?
But haven't you? Just a moment ago you reminded me that your greater age has made you wiser than I.
Well,
If you're so much wiser, perhaps you can tell me where to find what I seek.
where to find the truth?
The truth, the light, peace, happiness, contentment.
So now what I'm going to do is try to ascertain the height of the column. So these characters
Because he is
are
Then
like
they're real? They do exist?
I have said that they do.
Then I beg of you to help me find them. I beg of you.
That, my son, I cannot do. For it is given
Oh,
no one
come
to
on.
another find those things which you seek. You must search them out in your own
this
mind.
guy is not
You
helpful at
must
all.
exert your own efforts in discovering them.
But can't you tell me anything? Anything at all?
I
No.
would like nothing better than to disclose everything to you. But this much I can say.
Yes?
If you are sincere in wishing to find the truth, if you really desire to know the way of light and happiness and peace, if you would know the road to all these majestic things, then seek you the house of bread,
Remember
House of
the
Bread.
house. The house of bread.
This is so weird.
You, the house of bread. But wait.
Well,
Wait,
I
I say.
have to say bread is
Come back.
awesome, so I can't
Don't
blame
leave
him
me
too
now.
much.
Where is that house? Where will I find it? Where will I find the house? Tell me, O wise one. Where will I find the house of bread?
So the door, you can see, it should be about
Already
here.
told you I was dreaming.
So it's like,
I make no secret of that. First, I didn't tell my dream to anyone. Instead, I cherished it. Gave it many hours of deep thought and serious contemplation. I didn't even tell Sonia. Not at first. I gave much thought to the things the man on the mountaintop said to me. Those lines he quoted from a book almost as old as Christianity itself. And the house of
is he
bread,
saying that the Bible is older,
where was it?
Christianity is older than the Bible?
Could I find it? I resolved to try, so I went to my boss.
Are you trying to tell me, Bishop, that you're leaving?
Regretfully, yes.
But your work, your future.
I wonder, sir, if there is a future.
Well, Bishop, what in tarnation's come over you? You've got a great future. The books are selling like peanuts at a circus. Here's a wire from fantastic periodicals. They want a contract for a series of 12 short stories about the supernatural. That's $3,000. $250 apiece. That's not hay. Oh, good Lord, man. Are you out of your mind? Why, think of the years you've spent building up the reputation you've got. Think of those years you studied Greek and Latin and philosophy during the day, wrote cheap, sensational nonsense for the pulps at night to earn your education. And think of the trunk full of rejection slips you got from the slicks before you made the grade. Think of the money you've spent on travel and research.
That's just it, boss. I am thinking of all those things. So what? So I worked hard and maybe I'm a success. Who can say?
Maybe you're a success. Maybe you're a success. Well, if you do leave, where are you going?
I'd be glad to answer that if I possibly could.
You mean you won't tell me?
I mean, I don't know.
Bishop, I'll tell you what I'll do. You take a vacation. Yeah, that's it. A rest. A week. 10 days. 2 weeks. Take as much time as you like. And when you come back, you'll feel better.
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Oh, Bishop, what in the name of heaven's come over you? Don't you think you at least owe me an explanation?
Yes, I guess I do. I owe anyone an explanation as you.
Well, some satisfaction in that, at least.
Well, it's like this. It all happened about 3 weeks ago, out at my study. I had a story to write for the radio, the Egyptian mummy thing. While I was trying to come up with a reasonable plot, I drifted off. Telling Sonia was different. The difference between telling her and the boss was like the difference between saying, I love you to an actress on the stage and the same thing to the girl you adore. It was pleasant, soothing, because Sonia understood. Sonia understands everything. She wouldn't be Sonia if she didn't.
Hey, merci pour le like, Christian. Okay, so now, where was I?
So that's the way it is, Sonia.
We're just continuing. I think I'm gonna try to draw the statue that's supposed to be there. And if I look at my guides,
You want to seek it too?
What better thing could I do?
it's gonna be really high. So basically, is half section. It's just the legs that's gonna be there. Okay.
No, of course not.
Maybe I can actually make that
And I love long
higher
journeys.
and show more of the body there.
I'm used to difficulty,
May take us to far-off places,
but I adore far-off places.
and it may end only in disappointment.
Haven't we shared many a disappointment, Scott?
Yes, indeed we have. I can think of no one I'd rather make the journey with.
Thank you, darling. When do we leave?
Well, whenever the house trailer's been remodeled and the car cylinder's been ground.
Where do we go first?
I don't know for certain.
It reminds me of Sir Galahad looking for the Holy Grail. Did he know where he was to begin his search?
More or less, I suppose.
Do you know where to start looking for the House of Bread?
Darling, I haven't the slightest idea where to begin.
Dearest, what do you suppose the man named Word meant by the House of Bread?
Yeah, I've asked myself that time and time again.
Surely not a real house.
No, I think not. Sonia, that phrase symbolizes something. But what?
Well, perhaps we shall find out someday.
That was when we decided to go seeking the House of Bread. As I look back on it now, I don't blame the boss for thinking I was bombing. Here we were, Sonia and I, two supposedly sane, sensible people throwing up everything, kit and caboodle, and taking out to look for something more vague and unknown than Shangri-La or Arcadia, Nirvana, some other synonymous place. All because of dream. So we had the house trailer remodeled and the automobile repaired, and we drew our money from the banks and started out. It was the 21st day of May, my birthday, about 6 o'clock in the morning. I gathered up the morning newspapers on the way out of the house, breathed in some of the fragrant California atmosphere. Sonia wanted to stop at the used bookshop on Pacific Avenue, so we drove through the spacious Long Beach streets until we came to the place opposite the post office. Sonia bought 7 travel books and a back issue of a magazine that contained one of my better stories. She said she wanted to drive around Rainbow Pier once, so we did. Then we scooted over to L.A., picked up Highway 66, and drove to Las Vegas. We stayed in a tourist cabin at Boulder that night. Bright and early the next day, we drove over to the dam. As we began driving through the mountains out of the place, I noticed Sonia laboriously riding in a small but What's that, dear?
A 5-year diary. I thought we should log our trip. Perhaps we'll assemble enough material for you to write another book.
We log our trip, my sweet. You'll have to do it. Me, I couldn't write an IOU with a pen.
Oh, I've already started to keep it, Scott. Here, listen. May 21st. We left Long Beach at 7 a.m. and were out of Los Angeles by 10:30. The trip across the desert was uneventful, but quite pleasant, and we arrived at Las Vegas, Nevada,
And these should
May
end
22nd,
here.
Flagstaff, Gallup, Albuquerque. May 23rd, Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Tulsa.
Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago.
Philadelphia, Washington, New York City.
May 30th. We sailed today from Pier 17 for London aboard the SS America. As we stood at the ship's rail together, Sonia and I, we wondered just why we decided to leave the good old United States behind. Did something tell us our goal was far beyond the sea?
We have spent the past few days in London. It is now June 27th. We have seen the River Thames, London Bridge, Trafalgar Square, Downing Street, Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace, Piccadilly Circus, and many other points of interest. We were especially attracted by a place called the Light of the World. But the people we asked there, and everywhere else, had never heard of the House of Bread.
July 16th. We're about to leave Paris for Madrid. Sonia and I sought diligently in this city of pleasure for the place the man called Word named to me. We searched everywhere. The magnificent Bois de Boulogne, boulevards, everywhere we could go. We did Eiffel Tower and the Louvre and Cardinal Richelieu's Palais Royal, the Cathedral of Notre Dame, the Grand Opera House, the Arc of Triumph. Then we were attracted to the Place de la Concorde, which is called the Place of Peace. And we thrilled for a moment because we thought our search was ended. But when we asked about the House of Bread, folks only laughed at us.
July 30th, Madrid, where there are two classes of people, those who go to bed after 3 a.m. and those who get up before 4. No Spaniard had ever heard of the House of Bread.
Morocco, August 20th. Mingling with the Moors and Arabs, wandering up narrow, crooked, dirty streets, through shabby buildings and unkept markets, all with a general aspect of dilapidation and extreme neglect.
Tripoli, September 15th. Sponge fisheries, ostrich feathers, gold, ivory, rugs, and the ruins of a triumphal arch erected to Marcus Aurelius.
Cairo, Egyptians, Arabs, Nubians, and Turks in the city of mosques. High stone houses, barred windows, stately turrets and domes, rising above the surrounding dirt and squalor. And the temple where tradition has it that God talked with Moses. No encouragement here either. The house the man Word spoke of is unknown. It is late October. November 6th.
November 16th.
November 26th.
December 5th.
December 15th.
December 25th. Jerusalem. The hill of Calvary, not far from the city gates, where once a humble man bearing a cross of misunderstanding and hate, far heavier than mere beams of wood, drank the last drop in the cup of human bitterness.
The city of God. City of David, Solomon, Cyrus, the Persian king.
Nebuchadnezzar the Babylonian, Alexander the Great, Constantine the Great, Pontius Pilate.
The storm swoops down. Rain begins to fall. The newborn stars are hidden, all save one. There is one star to the east, quite close by. Scintillates through the gloom, through the downpour. Sends out its rays and engulfs us, enfolds us. Becomes almost a part of us. And Sonia writes that we must follow the beam it sends pounding vigorously earthward. let's go back. Or at least find shelter.
Scott, you're tired. We've tried to find shelter. Strange, the lodgings are completely filled.
Then we'd best go back to Jerusalem instead of wandering about here in the darkness.
Here. There's some sort of a shelter here, Scott. Let's step inside a moment, shall we?
All right, dear.
There seems to be a light in here.
Yes. And there's someone here beside us.
Scott, look.
I bid you welcome, good people.
We beg your pardon. We thought this place was unoccupied.
No, do not go. You are welcome here.
I say, haven't we met before?
I believe we have.
Yes, we have. Now I remember. You're the one in my dream. Your name is Word.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
The way and the truth and the light.
I am come, a light into the world, that whosoever believeth in me shall not abide in darkness.
The way and the truth and the light.
And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the
Boy.
glory of the Lord showed round.
Hope this is getting somewhere nice because
Fear not.
seriously,
Behold, I bring you
that's
good
not
tidings
dark
of
fantasy.
great joy. For to you is born this day a Savior, which is Christ the Lord.
Boy.
Be not afraid. Have you not been told, seek ye the Lord, and he will not be scornful unto thee?
Here in this humble manger, you were born.
2,000 years ago.
Verily I say unto you, I am with you at all times, in all places, even unto the consummation of the world.
Then this is our answer. This is what we have been seeking so earnestly.
Because you have seen me, you believe. Blessed is he who has not seen me, and still believes.
Hey boy.
And that is my story. We awoke the next morning feeling more refreshed than we'd felt in all time. The sun was bright, the rain had gone. What was the significance of the house of bread? We didn't learn that until later when I consulted the Britannica. I quote as it is written word for word. Bethlehem, a small town in Palestine, situated on a limestone ridge, 5 miles south of Jerusalem, a city called by the Hebrews the House of Bread.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Hey.
Dark fantasy.
So this one is called Resolution 1841. What's 1841?
Resolution 1841.
My name is Laura Cabot. It is January 2nd, 1942. The second day of a new year. As I speak these words, even I myself can't believe that what has happened is true. It began only a few short hours ago, less than 48 to be exact. And yet, it has changed everything for me, even life itself. I must tell someone. And so, I'm telling you. It all began night before last, New Year's Eve. A number of us had braved the deep snow and cold north wind to go out to the old Cabot place, north of Quincy, to see the new year in. There were 4 of us. Ed and Helen Richards, who had just been married a year, and a business friend of Ed's named Duke Toback. We had to leave Ed's car down at the road and walk up the narrow, unused lane leading to the big
Talk about 1941 leaving with a vengeance.
Ooh, it's cold, isn't it? The snow's drifting deeper.
Oh, Helen, to the right, dear. The house is over there.
All right, Laura. I didn't know we'd have to walk.
Yeah, it'll be good for us.
I wonder what your friend must think of us out like this on New Year's Eve.
Duke? Oh, Duke's a good sport. Besides, dear, haven't we made a practice of spending New Year's Eve in the old Cabot place for the last 3 years?
Yes, Ed, we have.
Besides, Duke wouldn't want to spoil the fun. Anyway, I think that he makes a fine partner for Laura, don't you?
Yes. He's very handsome.
And wealthy. Helen, do you think she likes him?
Well, the way she's hanging on to him and laughing, I wouldn't exactly say she hates
Oh, Mr. Toback, you certainly must think that we're idiots.
I wish you'd call me Duke. I've been calling you Laura all evening.
Well, I guess it's because I'm so fascinated by your last name that I used it. Tell me, how do you spell it?
Just like it sounds. T-O-B-A-C.
Duke.
Yes, Laura?
Spell your last name backwards. Toback, spelled backwards, is Cabot. My name.
I say, you're right.
Well, that's the most unusual thing I've ever heard of.
Well, I'm an unusual person.
Are you?
Don't you think so, Laura?
I really haven't had time to decide yet. But I'm awfully glad you came along with Helen and Ed tonight. We do this every year, you know.
Yes, so Richards told me.
Oh, this old house has been in my family for more than a century. It was just 3 years ago that I discovered it belonged to me.
That's so?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there were back taxes galore on the place, but I paid them up. And every New Year since then, the Richards and I have spent New Year's Eve
A
here.
charming custom. You know, I rather think I'm going to enjoy being let in on it.
I hope so, Duke. Really, I do. I want this to be the best New Year's Eve we've ever enjoyed. Helen, you and Ed wait up, or you'll have to stand at the door till we catch up with you.
All right.
Duke, what's wrong?
Laura, wait.
What is it?
Is that the house?
Why, yes. Why?
I don't know. It seems so familiar looking. I've seen it before. Someplace.
Well, if you've seen it, it's been right here.
Come on, Laura. Unlock the door.
Oh, well, all right. Here's the key.
Here, I'll open it. There. In you go, Laura.
Ooh, for heaven's sake, Ed, come in and close that door.
Hurry, dear. Snow's blowing into the place.
Here, old man, let me give you a hand with that door.
Thanks. Ooh, there. Quite a wintry blast.
Here, stomp off the rug on this rag, the snow on this rag rug. That's what it's for.
Good enough. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's nice and warm in here.
Yes, I'm surprised. You been out here earlier today?
No. Oh, Mr. Johnson owns the farm across the way. He always comes over on the last day of December and builds a fire for us.
You see, he expects us.
The place seems so strange tonight.
Strange? What do you mean, Laura?
I don't know. Does it really feel warm to you folks?
Well, it certainly does.
Of course it does, dear.
It's fine. Boy, it sure makes it handy to come here and have the place all heated for us.
Yes, but it doesn't seem the same in here as it always has before.
Well, personally, I think it's very homey.
Well, so do I. It's a pity no one lives here. It's such a nice place. I've tried to convince Laura she should stay here instead of renting in town.
I've had this feeling before. It's so strange. Almost weird.
Weird? Why, this place is far from being weird.
Oh, of course. Oh, I'm just being silly. Come on, Helen. Let's take our coats into the other room and see what condition the kitchen's in.
All right. Ed, you'd better throw a log on the fire.
How about some refreshments all around, huh?
Oh, you just leave that to us, gentlemen. There are plenty of refreshments in the kitchen.
Yes, indeed. Laura and I had them sent out yesterday.
Smoke, Duke?
Oh, thanks.
Well, how do you like her?
Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Charming.
Oh, now, Duke, is that all you've got to say for her?
Well, I haven't known her but a few hours. And yet,
Yes, Duke?
Yet, it seems that I have known her before. Somewhere. Sometime.
What makes you think that?
I can't say. Something about her. The way she acts. The way she talks, possibly. I don't know.
Well, have you asked Laura if she'd met you before?
oh, I thought that rather a silly thing to say. Besides, that's what men always say to women when they're trying to make conversation. And, well, Laura's very easy to talk to. She talks so comfortably with me. And,
well, it's as though she'd known me someplace before, too.
Yeah, I know how you feel, Duke. I felt the same way about folks I've just been introduced to.
Sensations like that are hard to explain.
Yeah, they're generally not explained. Look here, Duke. This is your first trip to Quincy, isn't it?
not only my first trip to Quincy, it's my first trip to Massachusetts.
Well, now, Laura's lived here all her life. She's been away a summer or two on vacation, though. Possibly you met her then.
Yes, that could be the answer. But it does seem we've been acquainted before. And the strangest part of it all is, it seems that we were once very close to each other. Very close.
Oh, Helen, will you juice these oranges for me, please?
How many?
Oh, half a dozen to begin with, I guess. Oh, come on over here on the small table.
Oh, all right. Laura,
Yes.
what do you think of Duke?
Oh, I don't know. Give me a little more time.
Seems to be attracted to you.
Does it?
Does he indeed? I caught him 3 times staring at you like, well, with a sort of fascination. Like he couldn't get used to you.
Well, perhaps you're right. Maybe he can't get used to me.
No, I didn't mean that way. I mean, well, he stared at you like he was trying to remember something.
Yes, I noticed that.
And I caught you staring the same way at him.
Yes.
What is it, Laura?
I don't know.
You like him all right, don't you?
That's just it. I feel that suddenly I like him too much.
Oh, now, you needn't fall in love with him right off the handle.
Oh, no, it isn't that. It's a different kind of a feeling. An affection. But not the kind a woman has for a man. It's different from that.
I don't understand what you mean, Laura.
I wonder if I understand what I mean myself. It's something that seems to draw me very close to him.
Oh, love at first sight. I've always believed in it.
No, not that. Something else. Something different. Something greater.
He hasn't made love to you already, has he?
Helen, will you please stop talking about love? Love has nothing to do with it.
Laura, you need a lift. Come on, let me fix you one.
No, not now. You know, Helen, I'm positive I've never met Duke Toback before. And And yet it seems that I did know him once a long, long time ago.
Well, it couldn't be very long ago. You're only 23.
No, I mean farther back than that, even.
Hey, wait a minute.
His name. It's so strange. Toback. It's so very strange.
$11:30.
No, just 30 more minutes, then it's goodbye 1941.
I can't wait. I've had enough of the past 365 days. I want a brand new year to start out everything with a clean slate.
Now you're talking, Laura. Here's to 1942.
Yes, here's to the new year.
Well, hey, I'm in on that.
May all our troubles disappear like bubbles of champagne.
Especially as quickly as the bubbles in any champagne that might be left around our place.
Would you pardon me now? I want to go upstairs for a moment.
I'll go with you.
Oh, no, dear. It's cold up there, and besides, I won't be but a moment.
Helen, you've got work to do in the kitchen. Well, I'll be right back.
Yes, I'll only be a moment. Make yourselves at home.
She seems strange tonight, doesn't she, Ed?
Yeah. You know, she was right enough when we left town. You know, the minute she stepped into this house tonight, something came over her.
I think she's quite attractive.
Duke, had you ever met her before tonight?
I know, at least I don't think I have.
Well, that's what she said about you.
She did?
Yes. She acted so strangely, too. She said that you attracted her in a strange sort of way.
Now, that's a pretty compliment.
Oh, Ed. What I mean, Duke, is Laura told me she seems to have known you before somewhere.
You know, that's odd. Duke just said the same thing about Laura, not more than 30 minutes ago.
Duke, you mean that...
Yes. It's so strange. I'm trying hard to remember.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. You know, I've had the same thing happen to me. Just some trick in nature. You meet a person, for a moment you'd swear you'd met him before.
But isn't it strange that Laura should have the same feeling about Duke?
Yes, I was about to forget the whole affair, but now... Well, I wonder.
Well, now, my advice is that you two get together a little more. Talk over the places you've visited, places you've been. Now, I'll wager one of my Christmas ties you met at the seashore, or at Santa Anita, or maybe on some dude ranch.
Possibly, Ed. But it doesn't seem that way. You know, I haven't said this before, but even this old house seems familiar to me.
It does.
Yes. When I first saw it outside, I stopped dead in my tracks. Something seemed to stop me, and... Well, I'd have sworn I'd walked up that same lane out there dozens and dozens of times.
Well, that's incredible.
This room, with its high ceiling and huge fireplace. These pine walls, the heavy oak floors, the decorations. They all seem so vaguely familiar.
But why should they? You've never been here before.
No, I haven't. Don't you two think it's getting chilly in here?
Yes, a little.
Oh, there are no more logs. I guess I'd better go fetch a couple.
No, Ed, I'll do it.
Now, there's no reason for both of you to go out in the cold. Ed, you go.
Isn't that just like a wife? No, Ed, you stay here. I know exactly where the logs are. I saw them when I came in. I'll be right back with a couple.
Better put a coat on, old man.
No, it won't be out long enough. The wood's just around the corner of the house.
Oh, Laura, I didn't see you come back.
Oh, he's gone to get some logs for the fire. Insisted on going alone.
Laura, what a beautiful dress.
Hey, those aren't the clothes you wore out here.
Wherever did you find such a quaint outfit, darling?
It's a dress my mother used to treasure. It's been in my family for almost a century.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I thought it would be fun to put it on tonight. I found it upstairs in an old trunk.
Just wait until Duke sees you in that dress. Maybe that'll help him remember where he knew you before.
He thinks he's known me before.
And Helen says you feel that you've met him before, too.
Well, yes, I do feel that way, but... Oh, I don't know what to think. I'm so upset tonight.
Laura, what is wrong tonight? Ed and I both noticed it.
Yeah, what's wrong, Laura?
Oh, I didn't want to mention it, but...
There. Something is wrong.
Well, can we help you?
No, I couldn't ask you to. Well, you two know how very fond I've grown of this old house and the property.
Yeah. You certainly spent a lot of money putting it into shape. I still don't see why you don't live here.
Oh, it's the memories and more than anything. And the fact that my grandmother and her grandmother and hers lived here for so many years.
Oh, Laura, you don't mean you're going to lose the place?
I'm afraid so.
Oh.
You see, it's heavily mortgaged. I'm in debt more than $3,000. I can't meet that debt.
Well, that's a little more money than we've got right now.
Yes, quite a bit more. Oh, what's that?
Duke.
Oh, Ed, see what's wrong. For heaven's sake, don't just stand there. Hurry.
Duke! Lord, man, your head. What happened? Speak to me, Duke. Are you all right? Here now, take it easy. Now, I'll carry you into the house. Come on. Arm around my neck. That's it.
Is he all right, do you think?
Yeah. There's quite a pile of wood out there. Picked up a piece near the bottom, and the lot slid down on him. Just knocked him out, that's all.
Oh, he looks so pale. Here, loosen his collar. There. You better take his tie. That's it.
Oh.
Duke?
Oh.
Duke? Are you all right?
Feeling better now, old man?
What? Is something wrong?
You had an accident, Duke. Do you feel all right now?
Lauren.
Yes, Duke?
Lauren. Why'd you call me that, Lauren? Who are these people?
Duke, why, you'll be all right.
Who are these people? Why am I lying here? Where's your mother, Lauren?
You'll be all right now. Just lie still.
Why do you speak like that? Why do you look at me like that, daughter?
Daughter?
But what's the trouble here? Suddenly you're so strange.
It's you who are strange.
What? You call your father strange? You call me, Jeremiah Cabot, strange?
Jeremiah Cabot?
Of course, Jeremiah Cabot. Don't tell me I have to remind you who I am.
But Jeremiah Cabot was my mother's great-great-grandfather.
Duke, for heaven's sakes, what's the matter with you?
This is so strange. I'm afraid I don't know your friends, Lauren, and you, young lady, or you, sir.
Oh, now, Duke, cut the kidding.
Just a moment, Ed. I think I'm beginning to understand.
Oh. For a moment, child, I thought you were my daughter. Now I know the truth.
Yes, that must be it.
What, Laura? What on earth?
Just a moment, Helen. Jeremiah Cabot. He built this house. His daughter was named Laurelyn. The name has been in the family for a century.
Lauren. She looked so much like you.
I still don't get this.
Ed, wait, I think I can explain. At least partially. There's an old legend in our family that one New Year's Eve, Jeremiah Cabot was asked by his family to join them in making New Year's resolutions. In the spirit of jest, Jeremiah resolved one thing: to return to this earth 100 years from the night he made the resolution.
That's it. Yes, of course. The resolution. The brick in the fireplace. The brick.
What does he mean?
I remember now. Here, I'll show you. This brick. This one behind the others. See? It's loose. You can remove it.
But what are you trying to tell us?
Here. You see? A hiding place behind the brick. This is where the papers are hidden. And the money.
Will somebody please tell me what's going on around here?
Ed, that's real money.
$10,000. You see? It's just been hidden here for years. And here, pictures. And the original deed to the Cabot property.
Why, this is most amazing.
And this is what I was looking for. Here, Lauren, read this. Go ahead, child. Read it.
What did it say, Laura?
Do you want me to read it?
No. Just a moment. It's quite faded. The ink is almost gone. It says, I, Jeremiah Cabot, being in my right and sane mind, do solemnly resolve this night to return to earth again. Exactly 100 years from now, if it be within the realm of power. Signed, Jeremiah Cabot, December 31st, 1841.
What happened? Is something wrong? What am I doing here? Oh, my head. Duke. Why are you all looking at me like that? Oh, I remember now, the logs. Ooh, cold in here.
Duke, where are you going?
No, Ed, you stay here. I know exactly where the logs are. Saw them when we came in. I'll be right back.
So why did the guy do that anyway? Yeah. Well, that begs the question, why did Jeremiah say he would come back after 100 years? So what exactly was he trying to do here? Well, at least this story was much better than the House of Bread thing. I mean, I don't have anything against like religious stories. Sometimes they can be neat, but I mean, this was just self-serving. I mean, come on. I think the Scott Bishop thought a little bit too highly of himself. That one was okay, I guess, but I just don't understand why Jeremiah would say, oh, I'm gonna come back in 100 years and somehow I'm gonna save my great-great-granddaughter. Alright. 2 guys done. So I can rework them a little bit later, but I think for now they're gonna be good. Okay. Gonna put that in a folder called Ink. Boy. And give a little stretch. Okay. Oh, so thank you, Bell and Nikolai, for liking the video that I shared, and Bell for actually sharing it. I believe he shared the video, which is really cool. Thank you so much, man. Very much appreciated. And Alright, just a little stretch. I'm gonna get a refill water. And we'll come back very, very soon. I just right now gone. Water. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay. Gonna take a break from the headphone. I need to change them. They're so heavy. They really press on my ears. Okay. Ink. I'm gonna try to draw a little cherub here. By the way, this is really cool. They found this animal that had like bat wings or something, like a dinosaur. Pretty cool stuff. So, cherub. Just want to look at some reference for wings, I guess, mostly. What? Thinking I'm gonna have to do a second pass at this, but I'll try and make a first good try to draw it in one shot. I saw a guy posting an ad on a comic group on Facebook. Like he was offering 25 USD for a page of comic. And I thought it was insane. You know, it takes me, you know, maybe I work about 2 hours a day on comics, and in about 2 weeks I can probably have a page. So it's like, you know, at least 28 hours per page that I spend on average. It does include like some like marketing and such, but it's pretty minor part of it. And a lot of people were actually willing to do that. And I looked at their work, and some were, you know, pretty decent artists. Not necessarily just, there were some beginners there. But yeah. And it's very depressing. It's like people are like, you know, I have to understand that I guess some people are living in countries where the, you know, the cost of life is, you know, much slower. So I guess, you know, that's certainly part of the explanation. But, you know, living here doesn't really make it possible to attain such a thing. I mean, I would have to just, you know, maybe if I spend like 2 hours on a page, it's like, it's fucking insane. Ugh. I don't get it. Anyway. And there were a lot of people trying to get in on that. Yeah, so, you know, that if you're thinking of making money through comics, think about something else, because it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. That's one big cherub. Probably too big, huh? It seems more like it makes more sense like this. But I will redo the ink. Pro tip, don't walk underneath the angels. So I think I need a little bit more detail on that sculpture. And I'm looking at a post I saw today shared by Spectrum Live. Spectrum Live is it's a contest for artists, but it's been going on for quite a while, so they're kind of legit. But you know, it's like you need to pay to get in, kind of thing. So yeah, no, thank you. There's so many contests like that. Actually, if you want to win a prize, it's actually not that hard. You just need to pay the price, and they have these contests that have a ton of category and a ton of level. It's made to be kind of easy to win. You just want to say that you're an award-winning artist. It's not that hard if you have money. I don't know, I'm happy I am with that statue. I mean, the head is kind of okay. I'll keep it on its own layer and, you know, maybe redraw part of it or something. Yeah, I used to draw these lines by hand every time, and you know, so many pro artists, they just use a ruler. So I said to myself, what's the difference? I mean, it is a good practice to draw a straight line in freehand, but you know, for efficiency's sake, I really don't think it looks that bad. Save a lot of time doing it like that. It's gonna be some kind of highlighted ceiling. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it, but it needs to be kind of out of this world. right, well, it's about time. It was a quiet night. Thanks for the likes from Zvibel and Nick and Christian, Sachiko. Thanks so much for the likes. It's very much appreciated. These little things, they really make a difference, even though it might not seem like so, but they do. So thank you so much for being with me tonight. If you have any question, any comments, I will love to answer your question. Just leave them in the comments below, or the section, or write to me, or send me some smoke signals or something. But I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have, and maybe do something about it in the next video. So thank you so much. As I said, my comic is available online right now from my website. There's a link in the comments. You can go check it out. It's tfti.inkorporate.com. My comic is also a web comic. You can read from the beginning. Not everything is online. Some of it has been published in a book, but everything will be online eventually. The book is just a little bit ahead of the curve, so you can get all 3 books on my website, in English and French, you can get a sketch or not. So just choose sketch if you want to sketch. I'll draw you something nice in the book. This is not print on demand. I ship everything myself, so it's really a labor of love, and I really like to share it with you. That's really the goal of that, because I'm not making money out of this. So thank you so much again for being here, and I'll see you around next Thursday. I'll be again doing this like every Thursday now, so I guess I'll see you around